Hey guys, this is Rod Young here. I'm talking about my one man in a van experience, driving a van in the Southwest United States for 28 days. If you like or enjoy my videos, please like and subscribe. The buttons down below. I was actually driving from Williams, Arizona to the Grand Canyon. I had a really nice time in Williams, Arizona, Route 66, and you can see that in my previous video. Today, I'm going to talk about the Grand Canyon. This was one of the high points of my van trip. I've got to say, it's the first time I've ever been to the Grand Canyon, and it was one of the most amazing adventures that I've ever been on. It's just an incredible place, and I really would. I mean, everyone should go there. It should be recommended for everyone to experience the Grand Canyon. You can't watch it in videos. You can't see photos of it. In order to actually get everything out of the Grand Canyon, you really have to go and experience it, because it was just such an amazing thing. So driving on Route 66, went north off of Williams, Arizona. What is interesting about the trip to the Grand Canyon is when you're driving to the Grand Canyon, the landscape you would think would be, my expectation was I would be going up into mountains, and I would be going up to mountains. I get to the Grand Canyon, then I would be looking down from a mountain. The reality is when you drive to the Grand Canyon, it's flat land. I mean, it literally is flat land and flat surfaces. You're not on a mountain. You're looking down. The canyon is just below where you actually go. It's down. It's not even on a mountain. So to say that it is so deep and is so amazing to see, it's incredible. I mean, you're not on a mountain. You're actually looking down from a flat perspective. So I was not expecting that. So that was incredible. But the Grand Canyon is one of the largest national parks. It has usually 5 million visitors a year, and you've got the South Rim and you've got the North Rim. I traveled to the South Rim because in December the North Rim closes early, so you actually can't get to it that way. So again, I got to the Grand Canyon, and there are two types of camping. You can either boondog, which means you just go somewhere and camp, park, you set up, and then you just spend the night hoping no one knocks on your door at 4 o'clock in the morning. Second type is you can actually pay to go to a campsite and not worry about someone knocking on your door at 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, if you think about it, your van, it's two types of vans. You got a stationary van, and then you have a van that's in transit. There are different things that has to happen in order for you to get in either one of those states. So if you're sleeping, there are certain things that you have to take out, set up in order to go to sleep. If you get a call at 4 o'clock, if someone's knocking on your door at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they're saying, hey, you got to move. It's not like a quick thing. You actually have to do a lot of different things in order to get your van going. So that is something that I was trying to avoid this entire trip, and I was lucky that I did. So anyway, when you get to I got to the south entrance of the Grand Canyon, got to the front entrance. I spoke to the young lady. Again, I had no place to sleep by the time I got there, and it was already dark. And that's, I was trying to avoid that, but I couldn't in this case. So she basically said there were no campsites. So
Okay, let me ask you, do you have any campsites open?
I have to figure out what I'm going to do. And it may require boondocking if I can't find a place to park. So I go in, I use my pass, and I get in free. And I drive to Mathers Point, which is, the closest point of the Grand Canyon. I just wanted to see it that night. Just to get there and, try to take it in. And again, it was dark, and I did get pictures, and it was, it was really cool. So the next thing I did, after that, is I tried to, figure out where I was going to stay. All the research that I had about the Grand Canyon said that Mathers campsite was the largest campsite in the Grand Canyon. So I decided to go drive, in the dark to this campsite just to see what it looks like and hope, cross my fingers that there were some empty campsites there. And I was actually going to just, if I saw an empty site, I was just going to boondog and just camp there. I might have gotten knocked on my door, but, so I got there, drove through the campsite, and I'm going to explain to you how to camp there. This was all new to me. The reality is you can drive through a campsite, which is what I did, see that there are empty campsites. There's a pole with a number on it. You take that number, you write it down if that's a campsite you want to camp at. If there's no tags there, you go back to the ranger station, which is what I did. You go to the pay kiosk. You type in the number of the campsite that you want to camp in. You get a slip. You take that slip. You go back to the campsite, attach that to your pole, and you're good. Didn't know all of that before I got to the Mathers campsite, but I learned that pretty quickly. So I was very lucky that I wasn't that lucky. There were tons of campsites available, so I just picked the one I wanted. Went there, got my tag, put it on the pole, and I was good to go.
Hello. Okay, let me ask you, do you have any campsites open?
Well, good morning. I made it to Grand Canyon last night, got to the campground, got a chance to check in and sleep. There's some things you need to know if you're going to be camping. First of all, these national sites, if you try to book a reservation, they always say they're full. They always say they're full. It doesn't matter. They say they book 6 months in advance, but the reality is these campsites are first come, first serve, and people book, but they don't show up, and then they get canceled. So there's always a possibility that you'll be able to get a campsite. What you need to understand is when you drive through a campsite, you come across these numbers, these poles. This pole represents this particular campsite. That pole represents that particular campsite. So if it looks like this, that means that it's open. You have to go to the main ranger's office, and I'll show you and press in some codes and press in this number. You have to know where you want to park. You got to press in 297, and then you'll get a receipt. And the receipt, you hang it here, and that means that it's your site. As long, for how many days you camp, right? So sometimes these poles will say closed, which means they are not an option for you. My campsite, of course, last night I went and got it, so I'm good. Thing is they always say they're full, no matter what. So you just have to go in. I'm not one to take no for an answer. Actually, that doesn't sound right either. But when it comes to certain situations like this, I'm not one to take no for an answer. Okay, I'm at the ranger station, and if you notice, you can park here. $15 to park per night. And the way you do your pass is you go to the free station, you look for a site here, and you punch in the numbers where you want to go, and then actually everything pays for credit card too. So now I will admit, I talk a lot in these videos because it's just so much information that I think people need to have. And I don't want to over talk. And because I was at the Grand Canyon, I'm not going to talk a whole lot in this video because I'm going to let the pictures do the talking for me. There were some amazing places. So, but I'm going to have to say this: the Grand Canyon, most places from the south rim to the north rim, it averages about 10 miles from one end to the other, from the south to the north. So if you're looking at it, you're looking out and you can see the other side of the canyon, it's usually about 10 miles at least, or on average about 10 miles. It doesn't look like 10 miles, but there are trails all through the canyon where you can go through the Colorado River, go down to the Colorado River, and then go back up to the north rim. From what I'm told, only 10% of people actually attempt to do this, and not that many of them are actually successful in the time that they want to be successful. They say it's to try to do this in one day is like running a marathon. It is incredibly difficult, strenuous, and they say that you should plan to, if you're going to go from the South Rim Trail to the North Rim, you need to have at least 2 days and a lot of water, and get a lot of rest while you're down there. So I wasn't trying to do that. I'm just trying to take pictures and trying to experience the Grand Canyon visually, not physically. When the morning I got up, my plan was to sleep in because I'd been up late, go to the Mathers Point again, and then take the I want to say the Eastern Rim Road all the way to the Watchtower, and that's pretty much what I did. The Grand Canyon it's a Western Rim Road and an Eastern Rim Road. They call it Desert View, which is the eastern portion. So I decided to, this day, drive the Eastern Rim portion. So I went to Mathers Point. Well, it looks like we finally made it to the Grand Canyon. I'm at Mathers Point, which is a beautiful area to get in as much of the canyon as you can. There is so much to see. What is interesting from this vantage point is you can't see the Colorado River. And imagine that one river created this canyon. And then I decided to take Highway 64, Desert View Drive, and go to all of the lookouts. Okay, I found another vantage view of the Grand Canyon. It's not a lot of people out here, just a few, but it's very beautiful. It goes down, and I think I can see traces of the Colorado River down there. It's very, very small. But yeah, this is incredible. And to think one river did this. Now I am going to attempt to climb down there to get a better view. So I can this again. It's really nice out here. It's really windy and it's cold, but it's it's nice. Yeah, that's pretty far down there. Okay, looks like we got big cat crossings over here. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that. Okay, I came across this site where they have a beautiful side of the canyon, right? Beautiful side of the canyon. They have a sign that says "Duck on a Rock." Some of these formations, you look at them, they have different, they can look like different things. So that particular formation looks like the head of a duck on a rock. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but what I'll do is I'll add a picture on this video. And there's Grandview Trailhead, the Grandview Point. And I just keep thinking that the American eagle is just going to come out among these vistas and just grace us with his omnipotent presence, and basically all I'm getting is crows. Yep, just crows. Okay, I'm off Highway 64. I'm in the Grandview Lookout, and I guess that's why they call it Grandview, because this is probably one of the most scenic views since I've been here, and it is incredible. I'm just trying to pan around so you guys can also see everything that I'm looking at, and I'm trying not to fall down the canyon. That wouldn't be good. I'd hate to see the video of that. Yeah, so there you have it. Also, keep in mind that there are hiking trails all the way, you know, down the canyon, and I think up into the North Rim, so you can actually camp and hike down here. I won't be doing that today, so I'm just gonna let you see what it looks like if you wanted to hike down the trail. One river wore down all of this rock. It wore down. You can't even see the river, Colorado River, from up here, but it's down there and it's running, and it's wearing out more and more rock. It wore out all of this rock. Just wore down. Does that not remind you of children? Moran Points. Okay, I thought the Grand Canyon view at Grandview was amazing. This is the Moran view, I think named after artist Thomas Moran. He basically painted this, so this is really nice as well. I mean, there's so much going on here. It's amazing. This is the Moran view. And if you look close enough down there, you can actually see the Colorado River. Looks like rapids down there. So yeah, you can actually see the river from here. And again, I mean, it did all this work. And actually, looks like I found another view of the Colorado River cutting through these canyons. Now we figure out how I can cancel. This is beautiful. It is as spectacular as the Grandview. And look at these vistas. This is incredible. Grand Canyon, y'all. We made it. And those cliffs are nothing to play with. So I won't play with them. Lippin Point. Yeah, I'm just going down Highway 64, and I found another overlook. It's just beautiful. Can I say beautiful too much? No, I don't think so. But look at this drop-off. That is a cliff for you right there. I don't see the Colorado River. It must be over. Oh, there's a little bit of it over on the other side. You zoom Okay, I keep thinking I've seen the best view in the Grand Canyon, but every time I get on Highway 64 and I go down a few miles and see another pullover, I end up seeing an even better view. This is incredible. This is Lipan overview, and you can clearly see the Colorado River. You can see so far. That may not look like a lot to you, but that's probably 60, 70 miles on the other end of that rim, on the north end. We're on the south end, south rim. North rim from this vantage point is probably 60 miles away or further. Again, the colors, all of these hues, it's beautiful. You know, you can follow the Colorado. These rapids are pretty intense right there, and they're cutting through the actual rock. So I'm told that it won't cut much deeper than that. It may take 4 million years for it to go another 40 feet. So if you follow along the river, there you have it. It's the Colorado River. Navajo Point. Okay, now I have reached Navajo Point. And from what I'm told, the Navajo Indian tribes still live and thrive in these canyons. And they contact the park rangers, you know, and the park rangers contact when they, you know, are trying to learn something or need something. But it appears that the tribes have thousands of years of knowledge about these canyons and about the Colorado River here. Hey, buddy. Don't you want to drive? Okay, so I'm viewing the canyons, and I got hungry, so I decided to open up one of these granola meals, and it was very good. You know, a little water. But I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at this canyon, and I'm just thinking about, you know, things. Didn't mean to get deep or anything, but you imagine it took 500 million years for the Colorado River to, you know, cut through this canyon like it does, made it so beautiful. In a blink of an, I mean, the human life expectancy, let's just say it's 100 years, and I know it's not that long, but 100 years in the span, you know, when you consider 500 million years is just a blink of an eye. I mean, it literally is no time. So in our lifetime, we wouldn't see this canyon do too much cutting. You know, it's astounding how short a time we're here in this world. I mean, everybody who's walking this canyon right now, you know, walking around, taking a look at it, 500 million years from now, they'll be dust. I mean, we'll all be dust. And, you know, it's just amazing how little time we actually have to do whatever it is we're going to do. I mean, and I don't mean to be out, you know, I'm not trying to be deep or anything. You know, I'm not a deep person. I mean, for all I know, 500 million years from now, I mean, this could be a Costco parking lot for all I know. I don't really know. You know, I'm just saying, but it's just amazing the amount of, the brevity of time that we're actually here in this world. I mean, and I was reading that the Pueblo Indians, they've lived in these canyons for, you know, centuries. And, you know, they lived off the water, and they lived off the land. I mean, everything that I'm reading basically says they've been here forever and ever and ever, you know. I mean, people, you know, generations, you know, we'll have our children and our children's children and our children's children's children, all that. But the reality, us as individuals, we're not here that long. So, and I'm not saying, you know what, you're living here, just life is short, make the best of it. I mean, it's true, but I'm just saying that it's just, we're really not here that long if you look at the whole scheme of things. That's all I'm saying. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Desert Watchtower. So, and then that'll take you to the eastern entrance. But I stopped at the Desert Watchtower and then came all the way back. We got the Watchtower lighthouse view. It's not really a lighthouse, but it's looks like one. And we do have good vision of the Colorado River from this vantage point. Okay, I am here in front of the Desert Watchtower. This would either be considered the last visit or the first visit, depending on which way you came into the Grand Canyon. It's built by this lady. It's not old as it looks. It's reinforced steel concrete with stone wrappings. I think what really makes this unique is the views of the canyon that you get. Oh, you let him drive.
Yeah.
You let him get out and drive. All right.
He drove us over.
And that was pretty much how I spent the first day. It's a long road, and it's a lot to see and a lot to do. Hey, how you guys doing? Now listen, I'm trying to get directions to the Grand Canyon Visitor Center. You guys seem like you're from around here. No? You up front, you seem like you're the smart one. What do you think? No? Now, I was in the Grand Canyon National Park for 3 days and 2 nights. Got up the next morning. The plan was to get on the road after I got a chance to drive the Western Rim Road. So I did that. I started off, left Mathers campsite, and went to the Bright Angel Trailhead. Good morning. From Grand Canyon. I'm on my second day, actually my last day here. I've enjoyed it. Slept in pretty good. Good night's rest in my van. Yesterday I was on the east side of the the southern east side of the canyon. Now I'll be going on the southern west side of the canyon. It's called the Hermit Pass Overlook. That's the last view that I will have, and it's been great. It's been a really nice time. And down here, I think this particular area, they have mules go all the way down to the bottom. Down there, they do these trails, these mule trails that people pay for. I'm not particularly interested in being on a mule down there, but I can understand how people are, and you know, I'm sure it's great. Drove through to the Trail View Overlook. Beautiful morning in the canyon. Maricopa Point, Powell Point, Hoppy Point. Okay, I understand that there is no video that I'm going to be able to take to do justice to this particular vista on the Grand Canyon. This is so big. I can't even do a panorama. I have to walk there's so much. Mojave Point. Okay, I'm looking at this canyon and I'm trying to do some research here. You can see the river right there. And of course the river did all of this. So it's hard to follow the river, but you see the top, the dark spots there. I think the river goes through that canyon piece where it's being cut. And it goes, I believe, all the way out that way. There's some other parts where the river diverges, creating this crevice right here. You can see there's no more, it's dry right now, but you can tell where the water actually carved this part. But it continues to go, I think, this way. And actually you can see part of the river here. Right there. The Monument Creek Vista, Pima Point, and then I ended at Hermits Trailhead, which is an amazing place. They have a coffee shop and they have beautiful views. Okay, I am on the southwest end of the Grand Canyon South Rim Park, and it's called Hermits Rest. And this will be the final stop on the west side. I believe on the western side, Pima Point was some of the most incredible views that I had seen in the canyon. And I will say that on the other side, Navajo Point and Desert View Watchtower were some of the most beautiful points as well, because the vistas are so long and you could see so much, you could see so far. Also, it's important to know that the Desert View Watchtower, there's a memorial there for a horrific plane collision that happened in that area. I think a Trans World Airline, TWA airline, and a United Airlines, 2 flights containing 128 people collided in midair and crashed in that area where you could actually see some of the wreckage still there from the planes. The accident was in 1956, and as a result of that accident, a lot of changes were made to the airline industry. That was when there were committees that first formed the FAA, because it wasn't there before. This was also when they decided to have black boxes in airplanes. And also as a result, there's a national radar system, because at the time, the planes did not have black boxes and they did not have national radar, and there was no radar available to the pilots at the time. So there were some really, really dramatic changes to the aviation industry as a result of this accident. And again, the memorial plaque is there, and those crash sites are memoriams. So it's really interesting to see. So I thought I would just share that with you. And I saw some of the most incredible vistas there, and I mean, some of them were so amazing. The Grand Canyon, and let me show you, goes from Lake Powell all the way down to the park, South Rim, North Rim. It continues all the way to Lake Mead. That is the entirety of the Grand Canyon. And again, that's a very small amount of park that I actually traveled through. The views were incredible, and I was really kind of sad that I was leaving, but my next stop was to get to the Navajo Bridge, and it's also along the Colorado River, and to try to get to Glen Canyon. Now, I did not know if I was going to get there or not. I was just going to drive as far as I could drive and not, you know, let it get dark on me. And that was the plan, and that's exactly what I did. I will talk about that in my next video. If you like or enjoy my videos, please like and subscribe with the button down below.